Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am very happy to welcome you all for this fourth day of our ACP-sponsored Atal FDP on imparting soft skills and life skills for holistic development. I hope all these 3 days you have a lot of learning on interpersonal skills, creativity, critical thinking, a lot of things. And today we have come with the stuff like entire morning session. We are going to focus on emotional intelligence. Maybe one session, first session on understanding your emotion, followed by that managing emotion. So the entire morning session, you're going to learn from an eminent resource person, Dr. J Anitha. I am very happy, Anitha, to welcome you for our session. Thank you so much for accepting to act as a resource person for our FTP session. It's
Thank you.
after I think, see, Anita was our ex-faculty, she's our ex-colleague. She was with us for almost about some 10 years. And I think these 3-4 days, she has generally people from industry, we will move to academia, but for her, it is just the reverse. From academia, she has moved to industry. So now she is working as administrative officer at Penguin Engineers, Coimbatore. I'm very happy to introduce her. So before handing over the session, let me just give a formal introduction about her. Presently, she is working as the administrative officer at Penguin Engineers, Coimbatore. She is also a trainer in soft skills and consultant in research methods. She was formerly an associate professor at GRG School of Management Studies. She has about 20 years of experience, including 14 years in academia. And she has also published a novel, The Journey of a Lifetime, a Psychological Adventure. Maybe if any of you would like, you can try reading her book. It is very interesting. And she is also a visiting faculty at PhD Institute of Management. She also handled a lot of guest sessions at different institutions in and around Coimbatore and also in Dayananda Sagar University, Bangalore. Her areas of specialization include team building, understanding Gen Y and Gen Z, emotional intelligence, management of self. She has won Best Research Paper Award and Best Teacher Award at national level. She has also presented a number of papers in national and international management forums, both in India and abroad. And she has also published widely in national and international journals. So I hope for this particular session, you have the right resource person before you. You are going to have a very interesting and maybe like you're going to thoroughly enjoy the session. I can promise you that. And thank you, Anita, for joining us. It is all yours. Okay, over to you.
Thank you, Anita. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kavita and Vandana, for this very warm welcome and very nice introduction. I will do my best, to satisfy whatever you have told about me now. Thank you, Kavita. And thank you, GRGSMS, for organizing such nice soft skill programs. It's really wonderful and it's really very, very important for one's walk of life. So good morning, everyone. I am very happy to be here with so many of you. In fact, I really miss meeting you all in person at the GRGSMS college, but okay, at least we had this chance to interact on this very important topic, understanding emotions. So before we go into the session, I would request you all to have a pen and a notepad or a paper with you, so that if there will be small exercises or something, so which you can note down, so that you can make ready. And so let us go into the session. So most of us know many people in our life, in our day-to-day life, like how intelligent they are. They may be like incredibly intelligent and brilliant, but we may see that they are not pulling up very well in life. But we may also see there are people who are not so intelligent and they don't have, say the memory power or, grasping skill, but still they'll be like very successful and they'll be, their performances will be like, they'll be able to present themselves well. So there are so many other factors apart from this intelligence. So among the other factors, the most important factor is the emotions. So that is what we are going to see. And there are different kinds of theories and studies and research that has come up with regard to emotions. And the most popular one is the model that was given by Daniel Goleman. So I'm going to take up his model. And as per our topic, I'm going to focus on one part of his research. So that we are going to see. So let me share my PowerPoint. You're able to see my PowerPoint?
Yes, Anitha.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So the initial part we are going to see is understanding our emotions. So like what is our emotion and what is it that we know about our emotion? We may think that we all know thoroughly about how we feel and what is our emotion and all that. But maybe after a few questions and your responses and your thought process, we can see how much we are really understanding our own emotions. So, before we go into the session, I'll say you a small story. You must have heard the story. There were two boys who were studying in a school, and one boy was like, he was fantastic. He was very intelligent and he was always the topper and he was doing so well in his studies. Whereas the other boy, he's an active child, but he's not so intelligent. He's not able to even, have a particular span of time to listen to his teacher. So things move on, and the boys grow up, they're friends, and after some time, like when they pass their school grades, the intelligent boy, he joined in a very popular college, and he does his UG and PG in very good high grade colleges. Whereas this boy, the second boy, he was not able to even complete his say 10th grade. He had to go back home, and he goes home. He joins his, takes care of his farm, maybe with few cows and goats, and things move on like that. But he's happy with that. He's able to enjoy his time with whatever he's doing. And after say 15 or 20 years, we are seeing that the boy who went to the very popular colleges is in a very high position, say in MNC companies, and he's like managing very large organizations very beautifully. And he wanted to come back to his home country, and he wants a similar organization which will have very big position for him and a challenging workplace for him. And he identifies an international dairy farm, and he comes to join there. There he finds that the owner of the dairy farm is his friend, who had flunked the 10th class. So such things have really happened. So this is not just a story. You must have also heard, like I've heard in reality, a flower selling girl outside the Madurai Meenakshi temple, she makes nearly 1.5 lakhs per month. I don't know whether you can believe it. I'm really not able to believe it, but it's a truth. She organizes it with some few men and women, and she does fantastic flower selling there outside the temple, and she's able to make so much. Also, you must have heard of the samosa vendor in a train who makes like lakhs in a month. Okay, he's just a samosa vendor. That's all. He just goes and sells samosa. So there are so many instances where we can see that people, apart from their regular cognitive intelligence or their being so bright with a very high IQ, we are able to see that they are doing successfully well. Whereas we also see maybe in this story we saw someone who has gone up to very high positions after doing his colleges, but there are people not even able to complete their studies. I'm hearing some noise. Okay, so so these are all certain examples. So maybe few of you can say me what could be the reason why such kind of things happen. Like the person who's not so intelligent, what could be the factor or what are the characteristics in him that could make him successful in life or do perform well?
Madam, one thing here,
Yeah.
he may not be academically good or not interested towards something physically showing marks or something doing like that, but he has some potential to prove something. So that could be the reason. Potential to prove on his own, not like what is in the books, vomit out in the paper and
Yeah.
get physically some marks, is not the criteria.
Okay.
For
so
few.
The potential that you are saying, sir, what could be the potential? Can you name it?
That is beyond the books. Beyond the books, the capability of managing the business, managing his own work, or proving something which is not numbered on a report card.
Yeah. Okay.
That is his potential.
Yeah. So maybe it is his self-confidence. It is.
Yeah.
It is how well he is able to interact with people.
Yeah, that is some emotional productivity, you can say.
Yeah, maybe the balance that he has in his emotions.
Yeah, emotional productivity.
Yes. Yes. So in all these stories, we can see that apart from the cognitive intelligence or the intelligent quotient, there is some other factor which is proven by science and research that has a major role in the success of a person. That is what it is like, something like this iceberg. The iceberg is a very big ice mountain in the middle of the sea. We must have heard of the Titanic story. So the iceberg is where we are seeing only the tip of the iceberg upon the on the upper side of the water, which is actually what we see in a person also. We see the IQ. No, outwardly, we actually ask a child to be to excel well in the classroom. We actually compare him or her with classmates, saying that he does good marks, he has good marks. Why not you? But more than that, you can see the very big part of the iceberg, which is below, just below the water, which is not shown outside. You know, that is actually the complete personality. When you come the IQ and the EQ, you are able to see the complete iceberg or the complete personality, and it has so much of weightage. It has so much of essence in it, which is, which has to be nourished or which has to be acknowledged. That plays a role in the performance of the person. So EQ is something like the bottom part of the IQ iceberg, and EQ it is nothing but emotional quotient. So we are going to see what it is.
Yeah, madam, one cognitive intelligence, you are using that word. Is it the physical intelligence which is appearing through our merit or papers or through our performance?
True. Yes, sir.
Cognitive intelligence.
Yes, cognition is
physical intelligence which appears.
Yes,
yeah.
which is shown outside. So means the mind or the memory.
Through our performance, our marks, that's cognitive intelligence. Yeah.
Yes, true. That is you're perfect. You're correct.
Yeah.
That is the intelligent quotient or the IQ. Whereas emotional quotient has to do a lot with how you're managing your day-to-day things, day-to-day life. We'll see what are the components of it. So it has a lot of competencies. It is not like one aspect, but it also has different compartments in it. For getting into the the expansion of the different attributes of emotional intelligence, we'll go through a small questionnaire which is given by Hay Group. They have done a very great study on emotional intelligence. It has been used by many of the researchers. Maybe now I would like you to take up your scribble pad and your pen, and I want you to draw a table like this, so that I'll be going through question by question. This is that Hay Group questionnaire, and you can write your response underneath that. There will be outcomes like A, B, C, D, and for question 1, you can write whatever your response would be, whether it will be A or B or C and D. If you've drawn this, so now we'll move on to the questionnaire. So this is like an intro. See, we've seen in many places that emotional intelligence or the managing of emotions is so very important. So for that, first we need to understand what is our emotional intelligence level. So if we really thrive, if we really want to move ahead, if we really want to grow, we need to see ourselves, like how good we are and what is the present status of us. Only then we'll be able to move ahead. So this is a very good exercise. And also be very clear that this is for this point of time and pertaining to only these 10 situations. Okay, so you needn't worry that I'm going to get a lower score or higher score. It is something to know about your own self. So it is very important for you to take this up quite seriously. Okay, the first situation is, say you are on an airplane. Okay, so you are traveling in the air, and suddenly it hits extreme turbulence. So, that there will be some ups and downs, and there is some shaking in the airplane, and it begins rocking from side to side. So put yourself in that situation and just imagine what you will do. You're in the airplane, suddenly it is vibrating, it is like rocking from side to side. What you will do? So if you've thought what you will do, now you can check whether you'll be doing any of these things. You'll be like continuing to read the book or the magazine that is there in front of you, or you're going to watch a movie. And you know that the turbulence is there, but you're not paying full attention to it, but you are diverting your mind. The second option is you get vigilant, okay, for an emergency. If something happens, what is it that you have to do? So you're reading the emergency instruction card, or you're looking forward to the stewardess, air hostess, or maybe a little of both B and A. Or maybe you didn't even know, you are so much immersed into something else that you didn't even know that there is turbulence that is on in the plane. Okay, you can, in the response column, you can mark A, B, C, or D. Okay, so the second situation, you are in a meeting. Okay, when a colleague is actually taking credit for the work that you have done. So you have, say you have prepared a paper, you have completed a job, and suddenly your colleague is taking it up and she's presenting, she or he is presenting. What will be your response or reaction? What will you do? Just put yourself in that position. Be as honest as possible, because we are not going to share it with anyone. So it is for you to know about yourself. So just be blunt, open with yourself, 100% open with yourself. So immediately you may publicly confront the colleague and say, hey, this is my work. How can you present it? So that is one option. The second one, after the meeting, you are meeting the colleague privately, and you are saying her that in the future, you really don't want her to do this. You will appreciate that if she credits you when she's presenting your work. That is the second part. Or the third option is, it is not a good idea to embarrass her in the public. So you don't even take up the topic. You just watch and you just leave it. And the final option is, after the colleague speaks and presents, maybe you publicly thank her for referencing your work. You can say, you're very good that you've referred my work. It is very nice that you had used it. You may also add this. So you are giving a little more detail about what you were trying to accomplish. You are actually adding on to it. So what is it that you will do? In reality, what is it that you will do? You can mark A, B, C, or D. The third situation is, say for instance, you are a customer service representative. Okay, so and so you have to take up a lot of calls daily. Okay, and you have just gotten a very angry client on the phone. What will you do? Okay, the client is like thrashing. He's very angry. So what will you do as a customer service representative? Will you just hang it up? Because it really don't pay to take any abuse from anyone. You listen to the client and rephrase what you gather he's feeling. So you're saying that, oh, this is what you're feeling, sir. This is what you're trying to say to me. So you're rephrasing it back to him. Or explain to the client that he's being unfair and you're only doing your job. Why are you shouting at me like this? I'm doing my job. So if you're not going to, if you're going to help me out to help you, then it will be good. So rationally, assertively, you're going to talk to him. Or you tell the client that you understand how frustrating it is for him, and you offer a specific thing that you can do in order to help him with this problem solution. What is it that you will do? That is important. Okay. So the fourth situation, say you are in your college days, and you had really studied well and you're hoping to get an A in the course. That is actually very important for your future. But you have just found that you got a C. Okay, so which is like, just pass. So what will you do? But you really did well. You studied well and you were hoping to get an A. But you got a C. So what will you do? So will you sketch out a specific plan to improve your grade the next time? Or B is decide that you are not going to take up this course and you're going to change your career because this is not working out. Or you tell yourself it really doesn't matter how much you do in the course instead of other classes where your grades are higher. So let me focus on the other grades, the other where I've got higher score. Or you go see the professor and try to talk to her to give you a better grade. Just ask her, see, I've done very well. So why haven't you given me an A or a B? It's been very strict evaluation or something is not being. So you are going and talking to the teacher. What will be your response? Okay. So the fifth situation. So you are a manager in an organization who is trying to respect racial and ethnic diversity. Say, for instance, maybe we don't have different races working in our country, but maybe in foreign countries. So here we have men and women, diversity is there. So we are say men, women, and the third gender diversity is there. And you are a manager who has told the people that you have to respect the diversity. Okay, so but you overhear someone telling a racist joke. They're making fun of the maybe a diverse group, which maybe of women or of the third gender. So what will you do? They are just casually making joke. They're making humorous comment. So what will you do? Either ignore it, because the best way is not to react, because otherwise it may become more ugly. Or B is you call the person into your office and explain that his behavior is very inappropriate and you have to take some disciplinary action on him. This is option B. Whereas C is you speak up on the spot itself, saying him directly that such jokes are not encouraged. It is very inappropriate and this cannot be tolerated in the organization. So on the spot, as and when he is doing the comment, you are publicly confronting him and saying this. And the fourth one, you are suggesting the person who is telling the joke that he has to undergo some training program to understand the importance of diversity and how relevant it is for in today's organization, etc. So what will you do among these four options? The sixth situation is you are an insurance salesman and you're calling on prospective clients. Okay, here again, you're making a lot of calls, but the last 15 clients, they're not responding positively to you. Okay, you are really like being fed up with the calls that you've done for the entire day. So what will you do? Call it a day and go home early so that at least you can miss the rush hour traffic. Okay, because you've done 15 calls. Or you try something new in the next call and keep plugging away. So you are doing something different. Or you list your strengths and weaknesses to identify what may be undermining your ability to sell. What is it that is not in you so that you are not able to convince the clients? Okay, so you are listing your strengths and weaknesses to identify how maybe in the next call what you can do. Or you're sharpening up your resume. That means you're going to leave this job and go somewhere else because this is not doing good. Again, this job is not working out for you. So what will be your option? What will you do? The seventh situation is you are trying to calm down a colleague who has worried herself into a fury because the driver of another car has cut dangerously close in front of her. Just look into the situation. You are driving a car, your colleague is driving a car, and suddenly another car comes in front. She'll be really furious. What will you do to her? Just imagine what will you do? And then you see the options. You calm her down, or will you also shout at the guy? You tell her to forget about it. She's okay now and it is no big deal. It's okay, come on, let us go. Let us move on. Or you put on one of her favorite tapes, music, and try to distract her, pull her down. Or you join her in criticizing the other driver. You also shout at the other driver. Or you tell her about a time when something like this really happened to you, and how angry you felt, until you saw that the other driver was on the way to the hospital. Maybe he went past you and he got hit somewhere and he's on the way to the hospital. So he also was as angry as her. when such a thing happened to you. You are going to share a story like that to her. What will you do? A, B, C, or D? The eighth situation is, so there is a discussion between you and your partner, maybe your life partner, or in your profession, you have your colleague, and that discussion has escalated into a very big argument, and you both are upset. Okay, and in the heat of the argument, you are starting to make personal attacks, not just the, not just saying about the work or something that has gone wrong, but also about the person, which neither of you actually really mean. Most of us do that. We really go out of control and we shout. At that time, what is the best thing that you do? Will you agree to take a 20 minutes break before continuing the discussion, so that you say, let us talk about this after 20 minutes? Okay. Or you go silent regardless of what your partner says. Okay, let me at least be calm. Let her or let him shout. Or say you are sorry and ask a partner to apologize to. So it's like compromising. I also am sorry, you also have to apologize. Or you're stopping for a moment, collecting your thoughts, and then restating your side of the case as precisely as possible. So you wanted to prove why you have said all those things and what is the right thing on your side. So you're taking a moment and you're collecting all the information and you're trying to present again. What is it that you would do? The next situation is, you have been given a task of managing a team that has been not able to come up with any creative solution. They are struggling a lot. What is the first thing that you will do? Okay, you are the team leader. You're finding that this team is not at all doing well. They are struggling. They are not able to perform in order to achieve their goal. What is the first thing that you will do as a team leader? Just think of some creative solution. So maybe you can draw up an agenda, call a meeting, and allot a specific period of time to discuss each of them. So you are deciding different points and you are calling up a meeting and you're going to talk about each of the point. What is it that you can do? So maybe it's like a brainstorming session, or you are having a discussion with your team. Or you can organize an offsite meeting aimed specifically at encouraging the team to get to know each other better. So offsite meeting, usually we go for some meeting, maybe outside your place, okay, outside even your home, that town, okay, and you can have a meeting there. Or you begin by asking each person individually for ideas about to solve the problem. The first option is you are drawing up the agenda. The third option is you are asking one of them to give ideas, okay, individually for their ideas. And fourth one, start out a brainstorming session, encouraging each person to say whatever comes to mind, no matter how wide. So now this is a meeting which is like totally, you also come up with ideas and they also come up with ideas. So this is the fourth option. So what will you do? And the final situation is, you are being assigned a young manager in your team. Okay, you are the leader and you have a young manager in your team, and you are noticing that he is not able to do well. Say even the simple decisions he's not able to do on his own without asking you. So what will you do? What is the practice that you would give to him? Even very simple things, he comes and asks you, nagging. He doesn't have what it takes to succeed around here. So you're very clear that he's going to make up in this job. You find others to take on his task, the jobs for the others, because he's not doing anything. Or you get the HR manager to talk to him about where he sees his future in the company. You can ask HR manager which is the right for him, because this is not the right job. He simply comes and asks you for decisions to be taken. So you ask the HR manager, you can replace inside the station. Or you purposely give him a lot of complex decisions to be so that he becomes more confident. Okay, so you make sure that he's been with difficult situations so that he gets practice, he gets trained. Or the fourth option is you engineer on an ongoing series of challenging but manageable experiences for him and make yourself available to him as a mentor. So you're giving him challenges, but you're making sure that whenever he requires help, he can come and ask you. So you're not giving very high, but manageable challenges and very less intensity. What would you do? These four options. So if you have noted it, so maybe something you will have something like this for 1, 2, 3, and 4. You will have different response. I just given an example like it. And now the third column is the points. I'm going to say the point for A or B and enter that as the slides so that we can later on add it up. So the first one, the turbulent air. If you given A, B, or C, all the three, any one of the three, you can give points to yourself. The fourth one is you even notice such a turbulence happening around you. So you are so not aware of the situation. That is not right. You need to be aware of what is happening around you. Then you score 10 points. You can add 10. Second situation is credit stealing colleague. So you can see if you given B, you get 5 points. If given D, you get 10 points to yourself. Because by demonstrating an awareness of workplace dynamics, you're able to that you don't really you are taking her aside so that you are not publicly saying her that you should not do this, but you're taking her separate. You're saying, this is my next time you have to rate me. Or the best answer or the most intelligent answer is after he speaks, you publicly thank her for referencing your work. So just how much open-minded you should be, get this particular response of the option when such a thing is happening. Okay, you need to be so much open-minded. You are not disgracing her, as well as you are not certain. So both is being taken care. Only when you come that oh, he's taken my work, only then you can come up to this. Okay, being in the moment is the third one. Again, B carries points and D carries 10 points. This is a Greek line. So the best thing that you can do is you are replacing him, see what has happened. Okay, I understand you are very frustrated. What can you do? Okay, so that is the best option. Fourth one, the C got in the mid. The point A, where you are going for a specific plan to rates is best. Or the point C, you're telling yourself, this is not going to work out. Maybe instead I will focus on some other. My grades are really higher. So that is actually coming good to me. Okay, that's 5 points. The racist joke when somebody is making fun. So the first point is not acceptable. You cannot ignore it because you have said this, that so whether it's going to go ugly or not, you need to address it. So speaking up on the spot is more important. Then understand that what you said, you really mean. Okay, so speak up. That is the most effective way of creating the atmosphere that you are insisting on a particular rule. Or 5 point and C and D also done, which is 5 points. The setback of the salesman. So you made 15 calls and you did not get it. The best thing that you was trying something new in the next call. Okay, I know it will be very much down, but still, now this is what means like we are getting affected personally. You need to separate yourself from the work that you do. I am different, work is different. Only when you're identifying yourself with work, you feel that you have it when those 15 calls have failed. 15 calls is it is separate, it's part of your job. Okay, it will have different reasons. There, you are only available, so you cannot assume that you have failed. So you are trying something new. Okay, so that is very important. When you separate this, you will be like balance and you will be working this way. Or you can strengths and weakness, see what is actually hindering you doing this. So B carries 10 points and C carries 5 points. The road rage colleague has come in front. So you are actually soothing her. Point D carries points because all the research shows that anger and rage seriously affects one's ability to perform. So you are soothing her and you are controlling her emotion by saying that he is all angry and he's in a speed and got he's going to get hit somewhere. So let us be calm. Not right for you to be harsh at this point of time because you're driving in the middle of the road. So you're giving some instance for that and you're saying her. Or you're supporting her, like criticizing other driver. So she cools down. Feels okay, there is a support, and because it's very important you're driving in a heavy traffic. It's very important to be on balance until your trip. And the eighth point, the best that you could do in this escalating shout is take a 20-minute break, because all your cells and all your physically you will be like very angry. There will be physiological responses in the nervous system, very active till 20. To take the 20-minute break, you will not be able to take a rational or appropriate decision, or not be able to give an appropriate response. So giving the 20-minute cooling down to your system is very essential before you go ahead, because you moved from professional to personal comments. So that is very, very dangerous for the relationship. The uninspired team. So the best thing is, take them for an outing and have a, because you need to give a separate space, something which is different from the usual workplace, so that their mind is also fresh. They are able to see new things and they are able to come up with some new ideas. So that is the best thing that you could do, even if it is going to be time consuming and cost you something. So creativity is likely to be stifled by structure and formality. So you need to break that formality. So that is the best option, the B. You'll get 10 points. If you've given a D, going for a brainstorming session, that also gives a lot of creativity. That carries 5 points. And finally, the indecisive young manager. So here the most intelligent answer is the 10th part. You are giving him challenges, but manageable challenges. And you are available to him as a mentor. So that is very important. Otherwise, point B also can be done. It carries 5 points where you're asking the HR manager to find out which job actually suits them. So you can do any one of these. So you must have scored and you must have got your points. You can add up them and you can, if you're feeling comfortable, you can give in the chat what is the percentage, the total that you scored.
In the chat box, I think people have shared.
65, 75. Someone has given an example. Lalita Soundararajan. In Daman, a man selling vada pav in the bus stand is owner of a theater and 5 houses. Yeah. So just imagine how much open-minded they are to take opportunities. 70, 75. I'm so glad. So many have got more than 60. That's really nice. So the total percent of EI scored here is in general only for this point of time. Maybe you are very relaxed, so you are able to take this response. Maybe you are in a very urgent situation, or maybe in the morning you had some troubling maybe the sun has disturbed you or something has happened, at that time your score will be different. Okay, it need not be the same always. Depends on your experience and your understanding and different situations of life. So this percent of EI is at for this moment. And the very good thing about emotional intelligence is it can be developed. It is not like IQ. EQ is not like IQ. IQ, they say it stops after a particular growth stage, whereas EQ you can always develop and you can go in for much better performance. And among these points, there are 4 different clusters in EQ, which we are going to see in the next few slides. And you can also add up and get the values for these clusters so that when we discuss those points, you can just check what is your score. The first point is about your self-awareness. The third point, third question is for your social awareness. Whereas you have to add question number 4, 6, 7, and 8. That says about your managing your emotions or self-management. 4, 6, 7, and 8. You add up and you will get a score. And when you add up questions 2, 5, 9, and 10, that score is for your social skills. So you can just note it down in your notepad. So emotional intelligence, this model, this flow cluster model is given by Daniel Goleman. Actually, this concept came into this word, this term was coined in 1985 by a person called as Wayne Payne, who had given his research thesis on this topic, emotional intelligence. That was a time when it was coined, when the new term came into existence. But even before that, even from the time of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, this concept was there. Like the intelligence apart from the physical or the cognitive intelligence was there. Okay, like something like intrapersonal intelligence, understanding yourself, or interpersonal intelligence, understanding others, that was there. And this person in his research thesis coined this in 1985. In 1995, Daniel Goleman gave a book, the very popular book, Emotional Intelligence, Why It Matters More Than IQ. That is the name of the book. That book made this concept popular. It was a bestseller, and most of the models are now based on Daniel Goleman's. And he, in his book, has given these 4 clusters. Initially, he divides into 2, like personal competence and social competence. Personal competence is something to relate with the self, whereas social competence is to do with others. And in personal competence, again, there are 2 attributes, the self-awareness and the self-management. And in social competence, there is social awareness and social management or relationship management. So these are the 4 clusters given by Goleman. You can see what are the different attributes for these 4 clusters. So emotional intelligence has 2 main competences, self-competence and social competence, comprises like this. And in self-competence, you have self-awareness and self-management. In social competence, you have social awareness and relationship management. This is the major, the broad framework of the structure that is given. And in self-awareness, you have 3 main skills or the attributes that will say about your self-awareness: the emotional self-awareness, accurate self-assessment, how much you're able to see yourself, and self-confidence. We saw now initially in the story, you were sharing that there are so many attributes that is important for the success of the person. Whether the person is a vada pav person or the samosa person or the girl who's selling flowers, the self-confidence is a very, something which we can very easily say that could be the reason that he has come up in his life. So these are the 3 skills of self-awareness. And in self-management, you have 6 attributes: emotional self-control, transparency, adaptability, achievement orientation, initiative, and optimism. So these 9 aspects we are going to see in today's sessions, both morning and morning 2 sessions. These are the things that we are going to focus. This has total input that is required for the self-competence. Okay, so personal competence. So that is because this is the building block, or this is the basic for the entire emotional intelligence. In social awareness, again, you have three skills. One is empathy, how much you're able to understand others. Organizational awareness, how much you are aware of what is going on in your organization. And service orientation, how much open-minded you are in order to do something without any expectation. So this says about your social awareness. And relationship management is how you are relating with others. So developing others, inspirational leadership, you are being a change catalyst, like you are taking up the job and giving the change to the organization, or you are being an influence, or you're good in conflict management, or the teamwork and collaboration point. So all these 6 says about your relationship management. So these are the different skills or attributes that are described by Daniel Goleman in his book. And we are going to see about the personal competence. So this is where you can see score on self-management and social skills. Add up, you will be able to understand. So these are the 4 main clusters and what are the scores that you've got. So until this, you are clear. Do anyone want to say something about your emotional intelligence score? Did anything surprise you? Were you surprised by the score that you got? So you can move on, right? So coming to the first point, self-awareness. So the self-awareness or something which says about your own self, like how much you are able to understand yourself. That is the main component for the entire emotional intelligence. Only when you are aware of this, only when you are, clear with this concept, you will be able to do the other 3 things as expected. Okay, so the self-awareness is the first step before you go for self-management or social awareness or relationship management. This is the building block, and it has 3 skills: emotional self-awareness, accurate self-assessment, and self-confidence. And here also the first one, the emotional self-awareness, is very, very important, because that is going to be the basic foundation for all 18 competencies. Emotional awareness, self-awareness. Okay, so that is very important. And all these 3 points, they build up on one another. Like if you have high emotional self-awareness, your self-assessment will go up and your self-confidence will go up. As your self-confidence goes up, again, your emotional self-awareness will go up. So it is like they contribute to one another. It is very beautiful thing you'll be able to see. Coming to the first one, the emotional self-awareness, I don't know if you would believe that we will not be really happy and productive until we are aware of our feelings and what is that. We will think that, yes, I am happy now. I have the job that I like. I have the, whatever I'm aspiring in life, I'm able to get in terms of money, in terms of status, in terms of job, in terms of family. I'm just happy. But if you are not aware of your feeling, then you cannot be truly happy.
Yes, beta, just wait. अभी time नहीं हुआ है. मैम कर रही हैं, कुछ issue हो रहा है उनके साथ.
I think
assignment में दिख नहीं रहा.
Mishra, your thing is not muted. Okay. So this may sound very simple, but our society has not geared us like it. For instance, say we all may think that I know my emotion. Who else will know? I know if I'm happy, I know I'm happy. If I'm sad, yes, I know I'm sad. Okay. But what the society has done to us, maybe in India, most of the homes, you must have noticed this. So when there is a boy child, we say that the boy should be very strong. Okay, you should be courageous. You should not cry. Okay, boys are not supposed to cry. You should not cry. Whereas the girl, she should not be feeling angry. Okay, the girl can be calm, polite. The girl should be very, pious, and she has no rights to be angry. How many of you have had such a kind of cultural input when you were young? Maybe you can put in your chat box. You can put Y or you can put N, yes or no. So what happens is when the child is growing up with this input, okay, so the girl child thinks that she cannot be angry. Okay, so when there is something that is happening to her in her life where she is authentically feeling anger, she cannot express it because it is being told to her that she should not be angry. So what happens is she expresses it as sadness. She cries. So many of the women, when they are angry, they don't express the anger. Even if it is authentic anger, they don't express it. Instead, they cry. So here, the girl or the woman is not even aware what is her original emotion. So it is the anger, but she expresses it as sadness. So this is where we are misled by the society. Similarly, the boy, maybe he's feeling very sad. Maybe if he's losing his loved one, he's going to feel very sad and he needs to cry. But he's been told that men should not cry. Men should stand up. He should have the hold always. Okay, but he is also an emotional human being. Okay, so when he needs to cry, he should cry. But he holds up. So it suppresses. Okay, the feeling gets very strong inside and it may burst out some other time. So, so many things we are not allowed, even in our own homes. So many times what happens, there are different methods like eating, drinking, smoking, medications, exercising obsessively. When we are ignoring our emotions, say you're not satisfied at your work, you come home. Okay, so like that person who has done that 15 calls and he's not able to get, the salesman who is not able to get any positive response, he comes home. What will he do? He will check what is on the dining table. There is a chips packet. He will empty the chips packet. Is it not? Okay. He will tend to overeating. This is, this is actually the psychological emptiness that he was experiencing. But by not, getting satisfaction in the work, that psychological emptiness is being reflected on his physiological emptiness. The emptiness will be mostly shown in the stomach. I feel hungry. Okay, my stomach is empty. So this overeating habit comes when you're not feeling so satisfied at the other work that you're doing. Okay, so somewhere you want to fill it up. So the work is not filling you up. So let me fill it up with the, the snacks or whatever is there. So such kind of things will actually help us. But what the person should actually do is he has to sit and see what is his emotion. So he's not satisfied. He's feeling frustrated. He should address that. But instead, we go to other methods like eating, drinking, or boozing, or smoking. Okay, whenever we are tense, we think that, okay, let me have a tea or let me have a smoke. Okay, I'll feel relaxed. We are actually escaping from that and we're finding a diversion. And then again, we go in the same path. But instead, you can spend not too much time, but just 5 minutes will do to solve a particular issue. You need to really sit up. You need to really look into the issue. And if you spend a few minutes on it, you'll be able to find out what is the best thing that you could do. And then to relax, you can have the tea or you can have the smoke or whatever. So this emotional self-awareness is being hindered to us by so many different methods like this, working obsessively or exercising obsessively. Okay, that gives a satisfaction of doing something else. By not performing your duty or not performing or something which is not satisfied, you are getting the satisfaction in something else by working late or by obsessive exercising. All these, so you need to do, when you're doing such obsessive things, you need to see what is it that you're trying to fill. Only then this emotional self-awareness will be there. I hope I'm making sense. Can I have some response? Yeah. Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am. We are listening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we are.
Fine. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we are there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you. So, different ways of subsiding or, making your emotion submissive, that is not good for us. Okay. We actually, go away from our own emotions. So can you say what are the different emotions we feel in our day-to-day life? You can just unmute and say.
Anger,
Yeah.
Happy,
excitement,
sad,
Yeah.
anxiety,
Yes.
irritated,
Jealousy is there.
Yes. Yes. So we have so many different emotions. In general, in psychology, they used to say all these different, like jealousy, excitement, anxiety, all this can be put in 4 major emotions. Okay, sad, mad, glad, and scared. Sad is the sadness or sorrow. So that anxiety, all that comes under sad. Mad is the anger. Okay, this is just to remember: sad, mad, glad, scared. Okay. Something which is related to anger, the frustration, all that comes under mad. Glad is the happiness, joy, okay, excitement, that comes under glad. And scared is where the fear. Okay, so these are the 4 main emotions. All the other emotions come under that. These are the things that you said: joy, sadness, fear, anger, being intimate, depression, guilty, frustration, jealousy, insecure, optimism. So all these, excitement, powerful, these are a few that I've quoted here. But the main important thing is, are we really aware what is it that we are feeling? Okay, what do you do when you're really angry? Or what do you do when you're really afraid or jealous or hurt? Say, for instance, okay, you're driving the car. Okay, in the previous example, we saw the friend was driving. Now you're driving the car. Okay, and you're finding a bike suddenly passes in front of your car and goes away. You put yourself in that situation. Okay, you're driving the car, finding a bike suddenly passes. What will be your immediate response?
seeing something hard,
You will be
seeing something hard,
something.
hard.
Yeah, that's because of the emotion of anger. You feel very angry and you harshly comment on him. You shout, right? So this is our immediate. So even after we go to our office or to a home, we share it with our people there, saying that I was so angry when he passed. Right? Am I right? But just see whether it was actually angry that came up first. Okay, you are there inside the car, you are seated, you are driving very smoothly. Suddenly the bike comes in front. What is the first emotion that you get? Is it anger?
Anger as well as insecurity of accident.
Okay. What is the feeling that you get? The feeling. The first emerging feeling is the fear. You get shocked. That fear, there is that fear, no, when something, some bike comes in between, and then it will transform into anger or insecurity and all that. So the very basic feeling that you get when such a thing happens is fear, which we actually subside. We do not make others know that, because we are very strong people. Why should I be afraid? The fault was his. Okay, why should I be afraid? Why should I admit that I was afraid? Okay, fear is not something that I am a very courageous person. We are actually putting, so all these things happen unconsciously, okay, not openly. And we actually suppress the fear part and we express only the other emotions. So you will be able to see that there will be such real emotions that is coming up, where most of the time we would suppress it because it's not being welcomed, or it may give a bad picture about ourselves. Say one more example. Say your son and your colleague's son are in the same grade, and they are writing their exam. Say they are writing the NEET exam, and you're finding that your son's, your colleague's son get through the exam. Okay, so you will feel, wow, okay, so he's a very good friend of you. The colleague is very good friend of you. Very good. I'm so happy that your son got through NEET. My son didn't get through it, but that's okay. I'm so glad. You should give me a treat. And you feel very good. You give him all congrats and you even give him a treat, you give him a gift because you like to speak. But have you noticed there is a small prick inside you? When all this is happening, when you hear the news for the first time that your son have not got through that exam, but the other, your colleague's son has gone through it or has won, you will have that small prick inside you, which you will shun it or you will try to put it down because it is not fair on your part to feel bad if when somebody is actually doing so good. This is what our society has geared us into. We are all very good people. We are all, but this small prick that happened inside you is very true. That is something very real that has happened to you. You need to see that. When you see it, you will understand, okay, I feel jealous that my son did not get, but he got it. So this jealousy is being suppressed. Whereas your open-mindedness, you are feeling good, you are, accepting him as well as your son in the same plane. All that goodness is what that we wanted to show. That prick of jealousy, we suppress it, but it is still there. It will grow in a different way. It cannot disappear. So this is where I'm saying that most of the time we may not know what is our original emotion. This emotional self-awareness, is it there or not? If it is there, you will understand that, yes, I feel jealous. You needn't admit it to the colleague. You needn't admit it even to your son, but you have to admit to your own self. You need to say that, yes, I'm not feeling good. Okay, because my son did not get through it. Okay, let me see what is the best thing that I can do for my son. As of now, let me congratulate the other boy. This initial process of addressing that small prick or the jealousy is very important. Then you become balanced. Otherwise, this is there and then you only show off that you are a balanced person. Okay, so these are all certain examples. So what do you do when you're angry? You are actually afraid. That is then what is being expressed as anger. Okay, there is some fear. That is why you are angry. Okay, what is it that you do when you're afraid? Are you really afraid or are you sad? Okay, but you're okay to express the fear. Okay, is it that? What is it that you're doing when you're jealous? Okay, so when I'm jealous, I'm saying that, wow, okay, everything is good. You very happily acknowledge the other person. What is it that you do when you're hurt? So how are you all feeling today? I want replies. How are you feeling today?
Not good.
Good, yeah. Others? Few more responses.
Happiness, happy.
Okay. Okay, so in general, when somebody is asking us, how are you? You say, I'm good, I'm fine. Are you really looking into yourself and saying a real answer? For other, you can say you're good. Okay, so to me, you can say you're good. But are you also believing the same thing? You need to look into yourself and see what is it that I'm feeling today. Okay, that is very important. Most of the time, we don't even see. We just say and we just get carried away by the day-to-day job. Just acknowledge what is it that is you. Just see what is it that is there. And then you go ahead with the other things. So what is it that you do when you're hurt? You say, I'm not hurt. Okay, I'm fine. You get hit somewhere. Is paining? No, it's okay. I'm fine. Are you fine? It's actually paining. It's actually, you got hurt, but you very openly say, no, I'm fine. Okay, you can say that, but to yourself, you need to be true that, yeah, it is hurting. Yeah, it is. I'm not feeling so good. I have to do something. Okay, so this is regard to emotional self-awareness. And you must have seen the movie Mask, where the person wears a mask and he goes about. We people wear a mask always. Like, say, if I'm hurt, if I'm being asked, are you hurt? My face has to be sad and say, no, I'm not fine. Yes, I'm hurt. But I will say, no, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. Okay, we wear masks, different masks, because what is required for the society, we wear it. For the outside, it is fine. But for the inside, what is it that you're doing? There are two main things that we do. These are called as coping strategies. Whenever there is an emotional demand, whenever there is something that you have to give your emotions to, give your payment as emotions, we do it with two coping strategies. One is surface acting, one is deep acting. Okay, I'll say you what it is. Say, for example, there is a receptionist or there is a PRO, a woman, and she is able to manage so well different programs. See, in her restaurant, there is a very big function, a ball that is going to happen. And she is a key person who knows all the guests, and she's very well prepared. But just 1 day or 2 days back, one of her loved ones at home is not feeling good. Okay, the person is in hospital. Okay, so she has to be in the hospital also, but she has to take care of this also because it is her career. And she's seeing that, yes, the person, the mother or the father can be taken care by one more support of her in the hospital. So let me come to this particular function, which is only for 2 to 3 years. Let me complete it and let me go. This is the decision that she's taking. So she's coming to the job. Okay, so now here her job is to have a beautiful smile always. Okay, it can be either plastic smile or a real smile. Okay, but that is what is required in that particular occasion. Okay, and her mind is always, thinking about somebody not well, and he or she is in the hospital, and what has happened to them, what is it that I should do. Will she be able to give that smile, a real smile? Okay, when something like this goes on in the head, she'll be able to wear a plastic smile, or she'll be able to show a smile, attend things very partially, and then again gets tensed, things. So the total not be there. This shallowness in the work is called as surface acting. At the surface level, you smile. At the surface level, you invite. At the surface level, she does things. But whereas when she takes the decision that she is going to come to this 2 hours work and somebody is going to take good care of the person in the hospital, when she is very clear about that, then she should also decide that she is going to be totally at work. This 2 to 3 years, I'm going to be totally at work. Only for emergency, I'm going to attend the calls or, whatever a requirement would come. But now when I'm here, I'm going to be totally in this. I'm going to really smile. I'm going to really invite. I'm going to really take care of the guests who are coming for that ball or for that function. Okay, that involvement in doing the thing is called as deep acting. Okay, so we either do deep acting or we think. It has been found in research that those who are doing the deep acting, their emotional intelligence is high, and their body conditions, their mind conditions are all balanced. It is all good. Those who are doing surface acting, they are not even here, they are not there also, and so things are not taking shape. It is not completed in this place where they are present, as well as in the other place also. They are not able to contribute fully. Okay, so this surface acting person has very low emotional intelligence, and they are whatever they are presenting is not appreciated by anyone. So this is with regard to the coping strategies. These are different studies that has been done. Emotional demand. So here the person is called for an emotional demand. The happiness emotion demand is there. The person has to be very happy when she has to invite someone. Okay, so this emotional demand is being there, and she has to spend some energy for that. So that energy, we are actually doing it with any one of these coping strategies, either as surface acting or as deep acting. And the first one, the first approach of the surface acting is you're pretending to be happy. You're pretending to be the PRO. You're pretending to be a very happy person to, to welcome the guest. But whereas the second approach is deep acting or method acting, where you're really happy, where you become the character. And that is more healthier and that is less stressful. Okay, so these are the ways in which we need to understand the emotions. So all this requires some thought process, right? So that comes in the second session. We'll see about that. That is even more beautiful. We can do that. So to increase the self-awareness, what are the different things we can do? A few things are being given. One is checking in with yourself. Checking in with yourself, initially you need to spend some time for that. You can schedule it. Say for instance, morning. So as soon as they get up, I'll spend 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. Or in the afternoon, after lunch, I'm going to feel a little nappy. So after that small power nap, let me spend 5 minutes, because after a power nap, you'll be very free, very fresh. You can very clearly see what is it that you're feeling, how is it that you're feeling. And you can check whether you're deep acting or surface acting. For instance, maybe after the power nap, you wake up and you find that, am I feeling good or am I feeling somewhere disturbed? Maybe you're finding that there is a small prick inside, but you're not sure when that prick has happened, what really made this prick to happen. So when you think about the different things that has happened, maybe yesterday's thing or today morning, maybe in the morning your colleague was sharing something. Okay, maybe he's going to say that, see, the boss called me and said that I have a very high chance for promotion. So you will say, very good, yes, congratulations. But that time the small prick has happened. I am also performing the same way. I'm also doing a similar way. But he's been called by the boss and he's been given the promotion, or he's been considered for the promotion. Why not I? Those things has been suppressed. Okay, but that prick is there. And when you think about it, okay, that is when the prick started. You become aware of that. I'm not asking you to address it. Just be aware of it. Automatically it gets addressed. Okay, that is the beauty of this awareness. When you are aware, it gets addressed too. Address comes as a bonus. Okay, so it will go down. You will understand what is the next thing that you have to do. If you're not even aware, something will be troubling you. You're not very happy. You're not able to spend fully, but you see it and you acknowledge it. You face it and you acknowledge it. Yes, I'm not very happy because he's been called by the boss for the promotion consideration, not me. Okay, yes, I'm not happy. That awareness is enough for you to move ahead for the next thing that you had to do. Okay, so this is checking within yourself. You can spend this time even late in the evening after you go home or before sleeping. Okay, like for 5 minutes. You just sit, watch your breath, because when you watch the breath, at least for 5 breaths, you'll be centering. Okay, you'll be coming to your own self. From the outside, you'll be coming to your own self. Then you check how is it that you're feeling, and you'll be able to analyze your own emotions that has happened the entire day. That is first thing. And the next thing is label your emotions. So labeling the emotions like I felt angry, I felt joy, or I felt I was afraid. All these labeling again will give you that that detachment from that emotion. You are not that emotion. It is only your emotion. You are separate. You are there. As Anitha, I'm different. My anger is different. This is Anitha's anger. This is Anitha. So this anger, I want to separate. So for that, instead of saying that I am angry, I'm not angry. I am Anitha. Okay. So this anger is there. I'll say I feel angry. Okay. So this angry is, I am separating the anger from me. When you name it, that 1 second or a fraction of a second, you'll be getting that detachment feeling. So this is different. I am different. So when did the feeling start? What happened when it started? Did it actually change? Okay, for highly emotional, intelligent people, this change or this negative emotions, the impact will be drastically coming down. Whereas for less emotionally intelligent people, the impact will be coming down in 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. So 3 or 4 days gets a waste. Okay, so this is the second thing that we can do. Third thing is being in the moment. Being there in the moment, not in the past, not in the future, and not thinking about something else, but being in the moment. And finally, getting to the root of the emotion. You need to see what is it that is actually causing this anger. Okay, you can be angry, but say the other person has been given the promotion. Okay, but is it that is actually giving that anger? Or is it something else? Is it the way in which the person has shared? Maybe he wants to say it, he's saying it sarcastically. Maybe that also can be the reason. Or maybe the boss is considering his work much better than yours. That can be the reason. Or maybe when you had performed well in the previous month, you were not appreciated, but everyone knows that you had completed a very difficult task well. So there could be many reasons for this anger to come up. It needn't be just jealousy. It can be so many other reasons also. Getting to that reason is called as getting to the root of the emotion. So spending time on yourself, that will help you in this emotional self-awareness. So all these things, how is it possible? When you can do this, you can do only in the moment. Because every time you cannot postpone, okay, let me see this evening, let me see this in the 5-minute time that I'm going to spend. In the moment, you see what is it that you can do about it. It is not going to make more than 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, you can spend some time for that. So these are all the different ways. And I assure you, when you're going to remember this and do this for 3 times or 4 times, the 5th time it automatically happens. You needn't consciously bring it. You needn't consciously remember. Only 3 to 4 times you need to remember and it will happen the 5th time. Okay, like what is it that I'm feeling? Am I feeling good? Am I not feeling good? So that break, no, that you're taking, no, that you have to do it consciously, remembering it for 3 times or 4 times. Okay, I assure you this. I've experienced this. 5th time, it will start. It doesn't mean that you will do 3 times and then forget about it. You make sure that you are checking with yourself always. So this being in the moment, it's also called as mindfulness. You must have heard of this concept. Of late, it's very, very popular. And this mindfulness at work is all about, so you can see in this picture, the awareness is here. It has been connected to the body, the thoughts and emotions. Thought is the mind. So body, mind and emotions. All these 3 should be in awareness. And you need to have all these 3 other characteristics. By moment, you are aware, you are non-judgmental, and you are very open. You are totally curious. For instance, when you're going for a walk, what do? We hear songs, okay? Or we make a phone call because we don't want to waste time. Are you actually wasting time? You are doing a walking. When you walk, you check how your foot is moving forward, how the air is, how the scenery is, how people are going about, how your breath is. Are you feeling comfortable? There are so many things to mind. But what we do, we listen to song because I'm not going to waste my time. I want to relax. So I'm making a marketing call because there is time for me. Which these are so many things that we do not to be mindful. Because only when you do the walking perfectly, 100% complete, totally involved as walking, when you sit and do the marketing call, you will be 100% doing the marketing call. Otherwise, when you're doing the marketing call, something else also will be going on in your mind. You will not be full there also. Whenever you do something, see that you're doing it 100%. Okay, those who are having the habit of walking, just today you just try this. Similarly, when you're cooking or when you're doing any job, do it. It is multitasking, we say, no? That multitasking doesn't mean that at the same time you do all this. You do 3 different things at a time. It means that for the first 5 minutes or the first 30 seconds, you do task 1, next 30 seconds, task 2, next 30 seconds, task 3. All the 3 together is not possible. That 30 seconds, you'll be totally into that. Okay, whatever you're doing, there is no mixing. So mindfulness is about being aware of your surrounding, helping you better understand the needs of those around you also. It's not just about self, but also about others. This is emotional intelligence. Being mindful is emotional intelligence because here taking care of self and taking care of others comes in. Okay, so this is the first point, emotional self-awareness. And the second point is accurate self-assessment. So accurate self-assessment, so when you are becoming emotionally self-aware, you will also able to see that what are the strengths of mine? What is it that I am? What is it that I have? We often feel, you can see that there are more emotions at a particular time. For instance, while driving that car, we saw that there was anger, there was irritation, there was a fear. Okay, fear was the first one. Fear, irritation, anger. There were 3 emotions at the same time. We cannot say that one is good and other is bad. Everything is very authentic. That's why it came up. And each emotion says something about our own self. When you do the self-awareness exercise, you'll be able to find out something about yourself. So some new information about yourself you'll get it. Okay, so that information that you're getting, that is part of self-assessment. So you have to accurately assess how your emotions are affecting your performance, your behavior, your relationship, and others as well. Because when we are angry, you know how the work will be. We spill something or we don't complete the job well. You be aware of that. So when I'm angry, we say no haste makes waste. We become very fast, we become very hasty, and we find that the things doesn't go in the desired way. So our performance, our behavior, how we are treating others, how we are talking to others, just turn and see what is it that I'm doing when I'm angry? What is it that I'm doing when I'm afraid? Okay, what is it that I'm doing when I'm sad? What is it that I'm doing when I'm happy? You need to see how the emotion is affecting your performance or your behavior or your treating others. That portion or that exercise is called as self-assessment. So this has one, okay, that exercise comes in. So here, actually, when you do self-assessment, you have to honestly see what are your emotional strengths and weaknesses. Most of the time, we do not want to accept something that is not good. Okay, we don't want to accept weaknesses. We don't want to accept something negative on ourselves. But when you're able to see that and laugh at it, oh, did I do like that? Because with others, we are able to laugh. Similarly, when you're able to see it and laugh, then you're going past it. Yes, I did it. I'm laughing at it. So it means that you are crossing that and you're going to the path which doesn't deserve a laugh. Okay, there you are actually improving yourself. So when self-assessment is there, you'll be able to see that the weaknesses that you have, they are all opportunities. They are not weaknesses. When I'm not able to talk cohesively in front of my boss, it means it's an opportunity for me to practice and to make sure that I'm going to talk cohesively next time. Okay, that is an opportunity that is there so that I can make use of it. So identifying weaknesses are identifying in which you are going forward. Okay, so that weakness is not a right name. Instead, you can call it as opportunities. It is a path, the next successful path that you can take for self-improvement and development. Laugh yourself. Okay, this, when you really do it, you will understand. Otherwise, it is just a terminology, laughing at myself. It is just some knowledge. Okay, that is not going to add anything to us. Only when you do it, you will understand what is it that means laughing at myself. You can just check what are the blunder things that you did in the recent past, and you pick it up and you see, very openly see. Don't see it as you, but you see this person, you put your name, this person has done this. And when you're seeing it, and if you're able to laugh, you are going past it. Okay, so that laughing at oneself and accepting one's weaknesses as current state, and it is not a permanent one. It is not a reality. Only at that moment I was like this. Next moment I'm not going to be like that. Then you'll be able to laugh. And when you're self-assess, you're open and you proactively seek feedback. This is an exercise that you can do after your sessions are over. Maybe with your members at home or with your office members, you'll be proactively seeking feedback. You'll be asking for feedback, and you're able to learn from new experiences as they know that there are some new areas to learn. Very small, not drastically, but small things you can able to go for new learning. See, this feedback exercise that I told, it is a very big support for your self-assessment. You find a partner, maybe at your workplace, even on a phone call, you can get somebody whom you trust, somebody who will be open with you and true, okay, on whom you can confide. So get a person like that. And your main job is, you are going to ask for feedback. You say something about me. You just say to him, you say something about me. I want to hear about myself. I want some feedback. And you have to only listen. When he or she is describing, oh, that day you were saying this, I felt very bad. So when the person is saying like this, you should not come and justify why you said like that. Okay, the justification is not required there. You listen, only then you will understand how you have impacted the other person. Only then the next time you will be able to see that you will not be repeating that, or some improvement that you want to do, you will be able to do that. So just listen, avoid any interjection, and don't defend, don't explain yourself, don't justify whatever the other person say. You need to be very happy that the person is being so open and saying something which is not such a comfortable thing to do. Okay, he also should feel open in order to say that to him. So don't hold any grudge, and you are going to, that is called as receiving feedback. Not giving explanations, not giving, just totally accepting what the other, because that is what has happened to that person. Whatever he or she has perceived is the reality for them. But what you must have performed is the reality for you. You are interested to see what the others have perceived you as. So you need to receive the feedback as it is. So giving feedback, make sure that you are honest. This you have to say to them, just be very honest and give your actual perception. Don't bother bad or not. Don't think that I'm going to get hurt. Please say, because whatever you're going to say, it is for my good, and I want to listen to it. I want to know what is it that has really happened. Okay. Similarly, you can also do it to them also if they are interested. With the similar rules, you can also give a feedback to them. So if it is a work partner, it will be much easier, because both of you will be having similar kind of here, and you wanted to share things. So that will help in your So this is one aspect of doing self-assessment. And after you do the exercise of doing the feedback, you just see what is it that was something new for you. Okay, maybe there will be many things that are new. Maybe some things may not be new because maybe you are more aware when you were behaving to the person that way. So you can see, you can reflect on what is the outcome, what the other person has said. So how many of the points that you already knew about yourself and what are the new things that you came to know? Okay, so all that you can do later on, okay, like contemplate on it after the feedback session. So this is about the self-assessment aspect. So the first one is emotional self-awareness. The next one is accurate self-assessment, knowing about myself. When you know about yourself well, obviously your self-confidence will go up because you know what is it that you are, you know what are your strengths, you know what are your weaknesses, you know what is it that you're capable of, you know that things are in your control, you know that you can regulate how the situation would go. That is self-confidence. Okay, we saw that girl who's selling flowers, she's making 1.5 lakhs per month. Unless she has the self-confidence in herself, unless she knows what she does, she will not be able to do that. The self-confident person have certainty about their own value and their own capability. Self-confidence and this, they feed each other. When you're confident, you know what your values and capabilities are. When you know your values and capabilities, you become confident. Okay, so they are hand in hand. And the self will make their presence a strong presence. Okay, we are not going to speak about everyday flower seller or a vada pav seller or a samosa seller, but we are speaking in specific. They make their presence very strong. The confident person does that. Have a very high level of self-assurance. They're sure about what they are doing. Stand up for what they believe. Okay, they don't feel small. They wanted to say, they wanted to share things. And they are able to take quick decisions even in uncertain circumstances. Even when things are uncertain, you are not able to know. You may know that something is going to change, but still you'll be able to take a decision if you are confident, because you know that even when things are changing, I'll be able to correct it or I'll be able to do something different. So when we say about decisions, one important point that I wanted to say, which I thought to share in the introduction part is, so decision making is a very, very important criteria for managers, for people, for faculty, for anyone, for leaders. Decision making is very, very important. And this IQ or the intelligence, the cognitive intelligence that we have gives only like 20 to 30% of information for you to take decision. Okay, how much ever you're going to collect data, collect information, do research and get all that intelligent information at hand, your decision is going to be based on your emotional base. Okay, so emotional means what are the value system that you have, what is it that you really believe. For instance, if you're going to believe that teamwork is very, very important, then your decision will be based on something which is going to rely on the teamwork, not on the individual work. That is emotional part of the decision making. Most of the decision making we make based on the emotional part. That's why we saw in the examples, the very intelligent boy or the very intelligent worker, he's not able to move ahead because he makes decision only based on the IQ or only based on the information, or his emotional balance is so weak. So he's very afraid. So he's not able to take a further step. He takes very small step. He takes very less risk because his emotional balance is such. So making good decisions, because decision making is ultimately a success of life. Okay, we succeed in life. We say we are successful or we are not successful based on some decisions that we have done. Okay, so that is based on the emotional part of the content that we have. So emotional intelligence is very important, and a self-confident person will be able to make very quick decisions because he's more balanced, he's more sure, he's self-assured, and he, even in uncertain circumstances, that he'll be able to take some strong decisions. So what are the different ways of building self-confidence? One thing is acknowledging your own strengths. Okay, recognizing, say the exercise that you did for the self-assessment where you are collecting feedback. definitely you'll be getting a more very positive points. You'll be told you are very determined, you are very open, or you'll be getting some strengths of your own self. Make a journal, make note of it. Okay, maybe take a very small notebook and make note of it, or maintain a notepad for that. What are the good things that people are saying about you? Okay, you see that, you maintain that, making your strength, whatever strengths you know about yourself, that also you list. When you go through that, your self-confidence will build up. Okay, and you update it whenever it is required, you update it and you go through it again and again. You'll be able to see that your self-confidence goes up. This is one part. The second is, again, make a weaknesses list. As I told you, don't call it weakness, make an opportunities list. So these are all the areas where I have not explored much. That's why others see that as weakness. Let me explore it. Okay, it's an opportunity for me. This identifying this is not to hurt yourself, but it is a personal to-do list, personal list. Yeah, I have to venture into this. I have to talk to the boss more confidently. Okay, maybe I have to venture into this options in my work. These are the things that I have not even ventured. I'm just doing the very old thing. So let me do something new. So these are all the areas of opportunities that you are identifying. And very slowly, you'll be able to see that these opportunities areas will move look into yourself. What is it that you truly, there is no need for thinking what the other person will think. Instead, this is what I'm thinking. You say it outrightly. That will show your confidence. That will show that you are assertive. It is not the content that you're saying, but it is the attitude in which we say. It is the base from which we are talking. So,
Okay, thank you.
yes, sir. Thank you.
And many times it is said that you show yourself through actions, not through words.
Yes.
So, through words.
Yes, because through words means others to do. We are not doing it. Through actions means we are
Words remain. Yeah.
Words remain. It is,
Yes.
say, if you are going to say your son or your junior employee, don't get angry. Don't get angry. Okay, it means that I will be angry, but you should not be angry. Will the child listen, or will the junior listen to us? Where we have to act it out. You can see that there was a very beautiful picture joke where the son was having a cell phone. The father was also having a cell phone. That was one part of the picture. And the other picture, the father was having a newspaper reading and the son was reading a comic book reading. That was another picture. Both these were two parts in the same picture. It means that whatever the parent does, the son also does. The children also does. So we cannot demand them to be in one way and we be in another way. Similar thing, that is what these words mean to me. Like don't speak with words, but speak with action. When you do it, others will know that you mean it. Otherwise, it is just, we are saying it for others. We only preach. Is this what you were asking, sir? Hello, am I online?
Yes, you
Yes,
are. I
ma'am.
think
Yes,
he lost
ma'am.
his
Yeah.
connection.
Okay. Yeah.
Anita, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, there is a question in the chat which even I really wanted to ask. How do you de-stress after a bad day at work? Or to put the same question in a different way, how do you de-stress yourself when you begin a day stressed?
The best thing is
See, Dr. S.N. Arjun Kumar has asked you that. How do you de-stress after a bad day at work? So adding to that, my question is, how do you de-stress yourself when you begin a day itself stressed?
begin a day itself stressed. Okay. See, actually, as I told you initially, that centering, that is very, very important. Why we get stressed, why we get upset is because of things that is happening around us, because of things that are not going in the way that we expect. We want it to happen in some way, but it is not happening in that way. That is why we get stressed. So focusing on that more and more, you are only, making yourself, affected by that. You know that it is not in your way. Something different has happened, but focusing on that again and again, you only get more and more. You're only adding on your stress. So what we do is, that is why we say centering. We come back, away, be away from that diversion, and you come back to your center and watch your breathing. Be with you for some time. That's why they say doing yoga, all that will de-stress you. Okay, so why it is de-stressing you? It is not because of the movement. It is not because of the exercise part. It is because you are bringing your mind away from all those things. Focusing on how the yes.
Yeah, he's muted.
Okay, so you are making your mind to focus on something else, something which is the breathing part. For example, the breathing part, it is something very calm and something which is going to happen. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, it is going to happen very smoothly. When you're bringing a focus onto the breathing, you can see how the breathing goes. Maybe it is fast, maybe it is very slow, maybe it is shallow, or whether it is deep. Whatever it is, you are bringing your focus onto that, which is very, very true, which is something stable, which is always there. When you're bringing that, you're actually calming your mind. When you do yoga, you're bringing your focus onto the movements of the body or movements of whatever is required in the yoga, so that your mind is getting focused on something which is there in the reality, which is there on the moment, the here and now, that you are focusing. That time your mind is getting de-stressed, or you're actually coming away from the problem statement. Simply thinking of that will only increase it. So you're coming here and you're slowing it down. Similarly, at workplace, somebody has asked, how will you respond when a co-worker challenges you? See, if he's challenging, it is his part. I'm not saying that you go submissive, but you just check with yourself whether it really aptly suggests for you, whether it is something that is of your interest. If it is of your interest, then you address it. If it is of your interest, you see, what are the things that I can do about it? Is it that I can go about it? Is it okay with me to take up this or not? You first do the self-assessment on your own. Then you go to the next person. In emotional intelligence also, first we have self-awareness, then self-management, then only social awareness comes. Then only you have to go for the other. First, you need to be very clear with the self part. Am I answering? So this is the
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I can understand.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions in the chat?
There was one question, I think. How do you respond to when a co-worker challenges you?
Challenges. Yeah, that's what I said now. Like, you need to self-assess. You need to see whether it is of your interest, then you can accept the challenge. If it is not at all your interest, he's playing you. He's actually making a mess of you. So that is one thing. And the bestseller book that I quoted on EI, it is called as Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ by Daniel Goleman. Maybe I can type it on the chat. Emotional intelligence. Why it can matter more than. Yes, I have given it in the chat. You can make note of the book. It is a very, very interesting part, especially emotional self-awareness. You know, it will just help you explore more and more. It is not like exploring outside in the nature world. It will be more interesting than that. Exploring your own self. Only when you get into that, you will understand. You can do very small things. Daily, you can spend 5 minutes, just 5 minutes out of the 24 hours. Spend 5 minutes, sit and see what is it that you're feeling. When you're getting the knack of it, you will understand, the joy in self-exploration. Any other questions?
Dr. Anitha, Rajini has asked one question. Like, my challenges have been to ascertain the emotion and labeling it. Can you suggest some tools or approach? That is what our question.
What is the question? Please read it again, Kapita.
My challenge has been to ascertain the emotion and labeling it. You have been talking about, right?
Ascertain the emotion and labeling it.
Labeling it. So, okay. Is there any tools or approach for that?
Tools is again, looking into it only. See, actually, the one basic important tool for us to know the emotion is our body. Our body will be giving some signals. Okay, it is because this is such a beautiful creation. Our body is such a beautiful creation that it not only does the physiological things, but what is happening to your mind, what is happening to your emotions, that is also expressed through the body. For instance, say you are going in the road, okay, so you are finding that a dark figure is coming in front of you, nobody is there on the road, and you are finding it's totally deserted. Okay, and you're very sure that that person is not up to something good. Okay, how will you feel? Immediately you feel your palpitation in your heart, your heartbeat races, there will be light shivers and your palms sweat. This is the indication that the body is giving you. Okay, it is not just doing the physiological function, but also the mind, the emotions function. The fear is there. So here I'm asking, fear is the label. But at this moment, you cannot sit and spend time in assessing, because you are sure that that person is going to approach you in maybe 30 seconds or 1 time. You have to turn back, or you have to see what is the best thing that you can do. I will say about that in managing your emotions. Okay, but say for instance, you want to do a presentation. Okay, so it is a very big audience and you are ready with your presentation and you are going to start, and there will be that heartbeat, that increase in heartbeat. Maybe it is a competition. Okay, and there will be sweating in the hand, there will be butterflies in the stomach. These are all the physiological responses that is given through your emotion. So you understand this body's language. Then you will be, when you see that, so when you're going to present in say 1 minute or 2 and you're having all these, now you label it. Okay, I'm having butterflies in my stomach. Okay, I'm feeling my heartbeat. You are actually distancing from that fear, because you've started to label it. You are putting your cognition, your thought process into it, so that that fear comes down. That is where this labeling is going to help us. Labeling needn't be perfect. Label needn't be always correct. Labeling can be, what is it that you are perceiving? From your point of view, what is it? That is the truth. If I'm going to say, you are not afraid, you are angry, it is my perception. That is you. You need to say whether you are angry or you are afraid. Okay, so it is your labeling that matters. It is not that correct labeling that matters. It is, what is it that you feel? You can say it in very simple terms that is clear to you. Instead of saying I'm afraid, you can say my heartbeat is increasing. Instead of afraid, I can say that something is rumbling in my stomach. What is it that you're experiencing? You can say these are also our labels. So now it's 11:15. Are we breaking, or if we have more?
We'll have a break. I think continuously to us, you also need to, rest your throat for some time, and maybe some questions if you have, you can carry it in the next session because Dr. Anitha is going to continue.
Yes, we can break for 10 minutes. 11:30, we'll get back.
We'll get back. Okay. And maybe we will break at 1 o'clock for lunch. Right. And we will share the feedback link after the second session, because it is by the same person. We thought we will share it for both the sessions in the second session. Right. At the end of the second session, we will share the feedback link. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anitha. Anyway, we'll have a 10-minute break and then we'll meet again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, participants, we'll meet at 11:30.